Alrighty. Woo. What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Marcus Jose with the Bullco, thebullco.com, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and .com. How you guys doing? What's up, Sergio? Sorry, I'm gonna fix my camera. It's a little OCD right there. What's good? What's good? Teddy, why do you laugh? Like put like laughing faces every time. You did it like 6 times a day. Like I don't get it. Nick Pinoy, what's up, man? What's up, fam? Sergio Choa, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for coming through. What's up, Ray? Okay, so we got a couple of updates for you guys today. Julian, check out your pit. Okay. Couple updates. We're gonna go over some updates with the kennel, updates with dogs, of my dogs, and then we'll get into a couple different contexts. We'll probably have somebody on. What's up, y'all? Les bullies, and we're gonna talk about why it's important to keep your puppies until at least 8 weeks of age. Because I recently seen somebody, hi Kim, let go of a puppy at 6 weeks old, and it's 5 or 6 weeks old, and it's ridiculous to think that this person was proud of it, proud that he had sold a dog at 5 weeks old, and he doesn't understand the repercussions for that, right? He doesn't understand the roles that that puppy's parents, that puppy's mom, and that puppy's brothers and sisters play in its early development. Okay. Yeah, actually. So Ray asked, do I keep my dogs slim and trim? I do. I keep my dogs fit. Now, can you see my dog's ribs when you look at them? You can't. So I guess I don't keep them slim per se, because I feed them as much as they want to eat, but they absolutely run and they absolutely play hard every single day to keep them fit. So I would say trim for sure, but I don't know about slim. Puppies. Yes, absolutely. I absolutely keep my puppies slim too. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. So bring that up in a little bit, Ray. So as you guys know, for about 2 weeks now, we've had the second male pick out of on my last litter back at the compound, or at my house. I don't know why I call it compound. His name is Juggernaut, and at this point, I'm going to tell you guys not exactly, but I'm going to tell you why we got the dog back. Okay, originally the plan was that I would co-own a dog to a certain individual for the fact of the matter of I wanted to keep that puppy in my program, because Juggernaut is a big dog and everybody wants big dogs, right? So, oops, sorry, 1 second. So he had a place here in my program. Unfortunately, the owner or the co-owner couldn't house a dog anymore. It just didn't work out for him. It didn't work out for us. So unfortunately, the plan that we had just fell through. It fell to shit. So that's why I got the dog back. Now, a lot of people were speculating why I got the dog back. Was the dog sick? Was there something wrong with the dog? Absolutely not. There's nothing wrong with the dog. The plan that we had just didn't work out. The guy couldn't take care of the puppy anymore, or not anymore, but couldn't take care of the puppy without putting strain on himself and his family. So I decided to make that executive decision. And Sergio asked, did I ever do that breeding? Yeah, I did, brother. I did. How much and how often should I be feeding my 3-month-old bull? Save that question for a little bit, brother. Okay. So got the dog back. Now, when I got the dog back originally, I was saying, hey, I still want to work this out with you. I'm going to hold on to the dog for a week just to see, just to see what's going on, just see if it helps, right? Week goes by, we talk, he decides it's not right for him. I decide it's not right for us to keep trying. So we decide to, pretty much cut ties, not as in friends, but cut ties on that dog. So now that's when we spoke this last Sunday. After we spoke, I let him know that, what's up, rock solid style bullies, Nico, what's up, brother? I let him know that, I think it's time for me to look for a new owner, and and it is what it is, right? So I did just that, and I put him out there for one day, and somebody, loved the dog enough, believed in my program enough, know who I was, know what I do, how I do it, how well my dogs are bred, trained, and family dogs, and someone made the decision to buy that dog the next day. So about 24 hours later, that dog was sold from the day that we decided to sell the dog, and it was great that we sold the dog that quickly. But obviously, I talked to the buyer. I had to make sure that his reasons for buying the dog were the same reasons as somebody else that I'd sell to were, right? Because I typically don't like to sell to breeders. Show homes, show handlers, yeah, but I don't like to sell to breeders, right? So he's not a breeder. What's up, Dallas? He's not a breeder. He's a guy just looking for a great dog, and could possibly in the future, but just not right now. Okay. So the guy ended up being in Amsterdam, who wants to buy the dog. Sorry, who's buying the dog? Okay, in Amsterdam. He's in Amsterdam, and up to this point, I'd never want to. Oh, for sure, David. I appreciate that, brother. Up to this point, guys, I haven't wanted to send my dogs overseas. Like I said earlier today, it is hard on the dog to package them up and send them in a crate. It's done all the time, it's done every day by a lot of breeders, but I just didn't see the reason to, when there's so many buyers here in the States willing to pay for my product, right? Willing to pay for what they want, right? And this is the first time I'm actually allowing my dog to be sold overseas. And so the process is, when selling to, I guess, the Netherlands, or I don't know about Europe as a whole. I don't think, like, if I sold the dog to England, it would be the same thing. So just for the Netherlands, they're fine with importing, but I think that it has something to do on his side, to where they have to be brokered out. The dog has to be brokered, and he has to pay taxes on what he bought the dog for. Also, so rabies vaccination. So unfortunately, Juggernaut, I couldn't get Juggernaut's rabies vaccination. His actual report that he got done. So I have to do the rabies again to get it, to get an actual certificate, or the number, or the exact number and proof of vaccination. So we did a microchip on Thursday. We're going back Sunday to do the rabies, and to have the rabies number put on the microchip with the buyer's information, so that when we're going through customs or whatever, right, we're gonna go get health checked in 21 days. From 21 days after the health check, we go to get the USDA stamp. And then after that stamp, he has to ship out within 48 hours of that stamp, or you have to do another stamp again. And I don't know the exact process, but that was how it was explained to me how it's done. So that's Billy from Reliance Kennels actually explained that, how to send a dog out that way. So big shout out to Billy, my boy. And that he's actually the one who hooked me up with, or hooked the buyer up with me. So big shout out to Billy, man. So Sunday, 21 days from there, that would put us somewhere early November that he'll be shipping out. So he'll be with us for the next 21 days, if not more. And you know, we're gonna be doing some training with the dog. He's not trained to my specifications, what I like. He's kind of overreactive to his environment. He, you know, when he went and got the shot done, he cried a little bit, and I'm like, you little bitch, right? Because I feel like a dog, you know, start getting crying, and they're, you know, they were born in the same litter. I feel like he shouldn't have cried, but he just isn't trained the way I want him to be trained. So we're gonna train him again how my dogs are trained, and by the time he leaves out of here, he's gonna be nice and good. All right, so Ray Vega asked on YouTube, do you have your own bloodline, and what is considered a bloodline? I hear all the time that guys say my bloodline back, and the guys would say he is a part of this and part of that now. Guys say my bloodline. Okay, so basically Ray's asking about bloodlines, what it is, what a bloodline is, and how it's made, I guess. So I don't have my own bloodline, not yet. The dogs that I'm breeding don't even, I mean, I guess they have a bloodline in them, but they don't come from a bloodline, right? So I can't sit here and say like that they're Razor's Edge or that they're Gaff or that they're whatever else bloodline there is, right? They're in there. Right. So let me just give you guys a definition of a bloodline. A bloodline is basically a dogs, right? Either multiple dogs or, you know, a line of dogs, right? Bloodline that throw consistent traits on a breeding, right? So with breeding dogs, I would say that a bloodline takes about 5 to 6 generations of line or inbreeding to throw certain traits. So if you look at, we'll say like Dax, right? Dax always throws necks, shoulders, stuff like that. It's because the blood was so inbred and line bred that it's like consistently throwing those traits, right? So bloodlines are dogs who have been line bred or inbred to produce certain characteristics when they're bred, and consistent characteristics. So like, you know, a lot of dogs who throw really good muzzles and then really bad muzzles in the same breeding. Typically line bred dogs that are line bred for having good muzzles won't throw bad muzzles, right? So that's kind of the thought process behind that. Bloodlines are dogs that exhibit traits and produce certain traits. Now, are there bloodlines that produce everything? No, there's not, right? There's not bloodlines that produce everything. And people who say that they have a bloodline or they made a bloodline, I always look like, okay, who are you basing it off of? What did you change? And how consistently are they throwing it? And for the last part, you know, consistently throwing it, I guess that you can say that's kind of a eye of beholder type thing, right? Because if I don't think a dog has type, there might be another person out there that does think a dog has type, right? But yeah, you asked about Hurricane Kennels last time. I haven't seen him. I didn't even go look at him. So traits that are being produced are unique to that bloodline, right? Like you can have a foundation, but if the foundation and your inbred and line bred dogs are producing the same exact as the foundation, I personally believe that you haven't created a bloodline. You've just made that the bloodline that you've had stronger, right? Yeah. So yeah, like Dax. Dax is known for shoulders and necks, right? Lucky head, stuff like that. And it's very rare that you see a Dax line dog with no shoulders or no neck or no blocky head, stuff like that, right? So that's a bloodline that actually reproduces its look. You know what I mean? What's up, Rich? Like bistro or homie blood. I don't even know if he calls it homie blood anymore. Not many people talk about homie blood, but originally he was talking about homie blood. But I don't know if Rob uses it anymore. Anyway, so the homie and bistro stuff, it's all about structure, right? You see a lot of the structure in those dogs, so they're not really known for their bulliness, or they're known for their being bully ass dogs, but they are known for having well structured dogs, right? Short, muscular dogs. And like I said, bone structure, rear end setups. They're known for that, and they consistently produce that structure on those little dogs. You know what I mean? You could call that a bloodline. But short backs, absolutely, for sure. So I would say that's a bloodline because it's consistently producing those traits. A lot of people, especially in this community, a lot of people talk about how it's their bloodline, how they've created a bloodline, and then you take a look at it like, dude, you just bred this dog to this dog, and you're saying you have a bloodline now. Those are people who don't understand it, right? And a lot of people do it. Trust me, fuck, a lot of people do that shit, man. And not like it's annoying, because I really don't pay attention to that shit anyway. But just know the 50 people that's on here right now, that that's not a bloodline. Breeding a dog, breeding your bitch that you bought or maybe produced to a dog outcross to somebody else's stud, you don't have a bloodline right now. What you have to do is take that fucking dog and line breed that dog. We'll say you breed that dog with this dog, then you take this dog's offspring back to that dog, and then you take that dog's offspring back to that dog's son, right? Then you take that son back to, you know what I mean? Like that right there. In every single generation, you're looking for that traits, those traits you're looking for, right? That trait, that one trait that just sets those dogs apart, right? It could be great rear end assembly, it could be great front straight type feet, it could be, crazy blocky head, some shit like that, right? And that's a bloodline. But how many people actually do that, or how many people actually know that? In this community, I don't know how many, but there isn't many who actually know that, and there isn't many who actually have a bloodline, or there's not many that actually say they have a bloodline and actually have a real one. Everybody just kind of like copies everybody else in this fucking community. Yeah, so that's pretty much my expertise on that. I don't know if it's right, but that's basically what my understanding from it. Can be asked, have you ever adopted out a bully from a shelter? I've seen some good-looking bullies at Pinhole Shelter. What are your personal thoughts, or would you just stick to creating your own? Because I'm a show home, I don't adopt dogs. And not just being a show home is not just the reason. When you adopt a dog, you adopt everything that comes along with that dog. You adopt the problems as well as the loving from that dog. And I'm not saying every dog has problems, but you don't know what you're adopting. You don't know what sets them off, what their personality type is, right? That's why a lot of times when you see somebody that's adopted a dog, they always say, "Oh yeah, they're so good." except when they hear cars, or except when they see a broom, or except when I turn on the vacuum, right? They don't know why they're acting that way. They just are acting that way. And adopting is not bad, man. I ask everyone who buys a dog from me if they thought about adopting first, and what's the reason why a adoption would not be good for their home, right? Uh, for me, though, adopting a dog is adopting their past. And with my kids, because my kids come first, everybody on here knows that. My kids come first. I can't adopt anybody else's past on a dog being around my kids. Do I plan on having Stark being the foundation stud of my yard? Absolutely. I think with the bloodline, I can't even say bloodline because I don't really know, I don't really think, and they're not, like Leonidas is not a bloodline dog, right? So if you look at like Leonidas was champion, one of the first dogs that was like, inbred, then inbred again, right? It was like Achilles was produced off of inbreeding. Then Achilles had a daughter, and then they bred that female to Achilles, which produced Leo, right? So it was like inbred, shit like that. Um, anyways, I don't even know what bloodline that is, right? It was like some Zulu type, Zulu's dog was named Zulu, and I'm sure it was a bigger dog back in the day, but I've never actually done a lot of research to, what kind of dog that was, or what bloodline it was, right? But anyway, so for my thing with the blood that I'm working with, I believe it to be a little inconsistent to where what they're producing. You get massive dogs and you get small dogs. You get big bone dogs and you get not big bone dogs, stuff like that. And my thing is, before I can call it my own bloodline, I have to get some inconsistencies consistent on the dogs, right? Well, I'm looking for more, consistent bone, consistent girth, or even consistent, type, stuff like that. I just think it's a little inconsistent for what an actual bloodline should be, right? And that's why we went with the doubled up breeding that we did, or doubled up line breeding that we did, rather than going outcross first, right? So the reason that we did the line breeding, Grand Champion Dose Vita to Grand Champion Beowulf, is number one because Beowulf is a great example of an American bully. But number two, it's because that's her uncle. So we're trying to double up that bulliness from Vita and Beowulf, right? And yes, I would say that the litter wasn't as consistent as I hoped it would be, but I can tell you that the dogs that are less boned are bigger dogs, bigger body dogs, which is fucking crazy, right? Because Stark, like I said, like there's a reason why we named Juggernaut Juggernaut. You know what I mean? Stark does have more bone. Stark does have a better, squarer head, but he's still smaller than Juggernaut. Juggernaut's still a bigger dog, which is fucking funny, right? Um, do you plan on keeping a female from the bestial litter, Stark, or outsourcing another female? So, with it being so tight, the way that Leo was bred, so it was like inbred. The way it went, it was like inbred, outcrossed to which produced Beowulf, and then I outcrossed to like a Razor's Edge, and then brought it back into the line for one generation. I believe it to be fine if I inbreed one more, or if I line breed one more time before I outcross again. But the plan is from this litter is to keep one, if not two, puppies from the litter. I think that Bistro brings a lot of structure to the game. Um, and I think that Vita, if you look at all her puppies, they all have nice tight fronts. So we definitely want that with the Bistro breeding. But I think that what I'm going for is consistent bone with rear end structure. And that's really something that nobody has. There's really nobody who's consistently throwing bone with rear end structure. And am I thinking about head pieces? No, I'm not. Am I thinking about crazy shoulders and neck piece? No, I'm not, man. I'm thinking about bone with rear end structure. And if I can create a dog or a line that's consistently throwing good bone, nice thick bone with rear end structure to any dog that they're bred to, I believe that I can change the whole landscape of the American Bully, because I believe that that the foundation of what people are breeding off of is the reason why we're seeing such inconsistency with the breed. But I mean, it might be too tall of an order for just one guy. But I guess that's what my calling is, or what I feel my calling is in this. Is Iron Man my production? Yes, Iron Man is my production. Yeah, Kim, you're right. You could get lucky like that, absolutely. But I would say I wouldn't even put a number on it or a percentage on it because I don't know. But I would say that there is a risk involved with having an adopted dog around your kids. And I'm not saying every adopted dog is bad, absolutely not. But I do know horror stories with either adopted dogs with kids or adopted dogs with, their owners. You know what I mean? So I just can't take that chance. I can never live with myself if I brought a dog into my home that hurt my children. Like any dog. So I bring dogs in my home a lot, actually, when I train them, right? But these dogs are never around my kids. I mean, I don't even think my kids get to meet them. That's how much that I don't trust their dogs. Not that even after 2 weeks of them being here, when they're fucking on point, they're listening, they're training, they're everything's on point. I still don't let those dogs around my dogs because I'm not their owner, right? I'm just their trainer. Is there such a thing as transgender bully? I don't know if anybody's ever put it in that context before. There have been dogs been noted to have both the genitalia and born with both. Typically, if they're born with both genitalia, if they're like a male but have female parts as well, they'll be sterile. Or if they're a female that have male parts, they won't produce eggs. Um, but transgender actually means that you are one gender and transition to another. I believe. I'm not an expert, but I believe. So there is no such thing as transgender because a dog cannot transition into a new gender by choice. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's a way for them to be transgender. Yeah, I posted that shit. Remember that? A fucking dog with genitalia and fucking whatever it was. Crazy. Yeah, man, Ray. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm not hermaphrodite. Yeah. I'm not here to say that breeding is good, right? I'm not here to say that breeding's bad. I'm not here to fucking tell you to shop, to adopt, don't shop. Nor am I here to tell you to shop. Wait, no. I'm not here to tell you to adopt, don't shop. Nor am I here to tell you to shop, not adopt, right? If that made sense. I really don't. I really dislike people who put that on my post to just automatically think that an adopted dog is good for every single home out there. It's not. It is not okay to have an adopted dog with every single home, right? So that's why I do get annoyed by that, but I decided to stop replying to people like that because they oftentimes they just report my comment and it puts my account at risk. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Bully Bro said, yeah, like the one dog that we saved from a bad breeder went after Jade last week. See, you just never know. Why do some breeders and owners love big-headed bullies? Well, because that's what this breed is known for. People, even old school breeders, they love those over-exaggerated features. A lot of people still like those over exaggerated features, and I think that's the reason why the exotics are so profitable, I guess you can say, because they're over exaggerated, or maybe a better word would be under exaggerated, right? They're so different because they're so small. It's just the same thing as breeding a dog to the limit of what that dog could be, or breeding a dog to the very least of what that dog could be. This breed was founded on breeding to the limits. Unfortunately, what happened was people went past those limits and started to produce dogs that were so far beyond the limit, they were at the bottom of the other side. And now people want those features on bad dogs, right? And not bad dogs as in acting bad, but bad dogs as in these dogs are gonna die in 5 years, right? And that's really like the truth. This breed was founded on breeding to the edge, you know. And unfortunately, there are people. There's just so many uneducated people in this community, and I took it upon myself 2 years ago, right? I'm not one of those people to complain about who's doing what, what's doing what, who's doing this, and who's doing that. I'm not that type of person. You'll never catch me online talking about how the ABKC has bad manners or how breeders have bad manners. You'll never catch me doing that. The way I am is that I'm going to put the correct information out there to try to change one mind. And if I've changed one mind, then I can change two minds. And if I can change two minds, I can affect the whole community. And that's really where I come from, or how I think. You know what I mean? I'm not the one to complain. Shit happens, man. So I can complain all day how there's a lot of breeders who don't know shit that are giving us a bad name. I can tell you right now that I'm not in that category of us, right? The way that you breed dogs will never reflect on me because I'm so transparent with what I do. People already fucking know that I do it right. Yeah, Kim. She said a big-headed dog. She thought it was an insult, but it's actually a really good thing for her, for bully. All right, so Ghost has a question. And then we're going to get to my topic tonight, okay? I have a question. My female has 2 progesterone tests for her first. Her first one was 19 last week, and yesterday she had a 1.87. When will it be okay to test her again? Does it get to 19? So I've said before, I know a little bit, right? I don't know everything when it comes to breeding dogs. I don't even call myself a breeder. I don't know how progesterone. I'm thinking, okay, 0.19. All right, good. So you're not worried about how this breed is represented and carried through even outside of the bully community with education? Okay, wait a minute. Beyond the limits. Give me a second. I'm going to scroll back to you. So my rule of thumb when I'm breeding a dog is typically I'm going to check their progesterone test at 7 or progesterone levels at 7 days. At 7 days, it'll give me an idea whether I should come back a day or 2 days later. If there are 3 at 7 days, I'm coming 2 days later. If there are 4 at 7 days, I'm coming back the very next day and probably going to breed on the 9th day, right? So that's my rule of thumb. I don't know because I don't know your female. You got to know your dogs. Hi, baby. What are you doing? What's up, baby? Hi. Am I loud? I'm sorry. Okay, go to sleep, okay? I love you. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. Yeah. Vets say different things. My vets never actually told me what day I should come in, but I always go on 7, and it always works out. It always works out for sure. Um, keep it down. Keep it down. Okay. So Beyond Limits Bully said, so you're not worried how this breed is represented and carried through even outside of their bully community with education. I guess what I can say to that, Abel, is that God gave me the strength to change the things I can change, accept the things that I can't change, and the power to know the difference. I don't know the exact like quote there. It's change the things I can change, um, accept the things I can't change, and the some word to know the difference of what I can do and what I can't do. Right. My job, what I've taken upon myself, is to educate anyone who will listen. For those who do not listen or who won't listen, it's not my job. I can't worry about them. But for the 45 people on here, and the rotation, like, so after I do a live, I typically get about 1,000, 2,000 people actually watch it on my Instagram. I don't know about Facebook. Facebook's kind of a hit and miss, right? So is it clarity you're looking for? I don't. Who knows the quote? Somebody type in that. Type in that. That line from the Bible. Wisdom to know the difference. Yeah, right. Is it wisdom? I thought it was a different word, but it's something like that. So no, it's serenity. It's God grant me the wisdom to know the different, to change the things I can change, to accept the things that I can't change, and the serenity to know the difference. Or some, it might even be the serenity prayer. I'm not really religious. I just, I've held on to that. Anyway, and that's the truth, bro. So the fact that I don't care, that I do or don't care, doesn't even matter. What I can change is what I feel that I put out there. I can't force you to see things my way. All I can do is give you my experience, give you the way that I feel, what I think, and educate you on little things. And it's up to you whether or not you want to listen. If you don't want to listen, you don't want to listen. If you do want to listen, you do, right? But you just said if you can change one, you can change two, and with two, the community. Not worrying. Talking about education with action. Actions are louder than words and reach further. Yes, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yes, you're right. So, um, you're right. You're right. I do reach a lot more people, but at the same time, you're not going to find me pandering to say, hey, you guys should watch this, right? I don't want to be that guy And everybody's seen it on Facebook that shares everything they do on every single page. Like, watch me. I'm doing this so I could be out in the open, right? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I don't want to force my opinion on you guys. If I'm here and I go live and you guys decide to join in and I decide to talk about what I decide to talk about, then that's what it is. You guys, if either my name is Aldo and I'm an alcoholic. My name is Marcus and I like to drink. I feel like I'm not forcing you to hear it and I'm not being a hypocrite because I don't like people who do that. You know what I mean? So I'll bring you on right now, bro. Let me keep this in mind. We'll talk about this right now. Let me get myself a drink. I'm not lying to you. I'm working on my alcohol sponsor for my shows. That I'm gonna get a sponsor, somebody who makes a beverage for me because I have no problem with putting an alcoholic beverage right next to my live stream for sure. After giving the Jerry's. Dude, we gotta start calling exotic breeders Jerry's. Not just exotic breeders. Breeders who don't know what the fuck they're doing. I've started calling them Jerry's for sure. All right, for sure, bro. See, David, you're right, bro. So David said that if we focus on our programs and focus on proper breeding, people will have a reference point and what the real bully should look like. You're absolutely right. I would tell you guys that my actions speak just as loud as my words. Now, I do fucking talk a lot. That is not a lie. But I do also prove that what I talk about works and it's the right way and it's correct. And it produces great dogs. It produces great, results, right? You know what I mean? Like, it produces everything. And I'm not saying I'm the best at all. I'm not saying I'm the best at all. I'm saying that I practice what I preach. And in that case, whether I win or lose in the ring, for me, it doesn't matter because I've done everything I could to make this dog, the best it could be. If it's not enough, it's not enough. It is what it is, right? And at the end of the day, I'm a show breeder. I want to win. I want to beat everybody in the fucking ring. I do, right? Um, and give myself some validity behind what I do. But that's the truth, man. My actions speak just as loud as my words. I don't claim to be anything. I just am who I am. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're right. It is getting a little deep in here. What's up, Edelson? What's up, man? Why do bullies have skin issues and pit bulls and amstaffs don't? They absolutely do, Ray. I would tell you that pit bulls and amstaffs do suffer from, some skin issues. And I don't think that this breed is cookie cutter enough to say that American bullies suffer from skin issues, right? So, like we talked about last time, the American Bulldog, or no, excuse me, English Bulldog or the Pug, right? Those dogs suffer from bad respiratory issues because of their short snout. You can put those into a category because they are cookie cutter. They are very consistent to where the way they look. Now their size might change, their weight might change, but the look when you see those dogs, you know that those dogs are English or pugs, whatever the short snout dogs are, right? And you can say that those dogs suffer from bad respiratory issues because they're so cookie cutter. This breed, American Bully, is so inconsistent that you cannot say that they suffer from any one ailment, right? So my friend Ron Ramos, Papa Pitt, and I had a discussion last week, if you guys are on here, about what causes a high rear. And his thing, and his saying was that that short upper arms cause high rears. And my saying, my reasoning was, yes, they do, but that isn't the only ailment that ails the American bully, and that's not the only fault that causes a high rear. And he was like, I will put my years of ring experience against you anytime. And I said, yeah, you have years, but I can tell you right now, that's not the only thing, and I know that for sure, right? Um, Yeah, there's so many different. You're right, Sergio. You're right, dude. Stiff rears, bad turn to stifle, bad hip angulation could cause a high fucking rear. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, right? But Mr. Ramos is very knowledgeable, and I think he got caught up in his name rather than actually listening to somebody. Because I have done it, and I have been there, and I have talked about it, and I've seen it, and I've read about it, and you know what I mean. There's so many. You're right. There's so many factors. So the reason that I fought so hard on that for you guys, it was for you because you guys need to understand that it isn't just my opinion that matters. You have to get an assortment of opinions that matter to essentially develop your own, right? If somebody calls me a horse's ass, you punch them in the mouth. Or somebody calls you a horse's ass again, you tell them to stop. Or somebody calls you again, well, maybe it's time to get saddled, right? So yeah, I think you always have to continue to educate yourselves on it. So Kim said, "You're amazing. Thanks, man or woman. I actually found you on YouTube when I needed help with training my bully. I worked on that shit every day till this day, and I want to say it's totally different. Blew my mind. Well, I appreciate that. It's going to be patented someday." Okay, wait a minute. Okay, what is Beyond the Limits talking about? Give me a second. So let them do what they do. People will turn. No, no. Okay, wait, John. I'm gonna read your question, bro. Is that a question? I'd want a Vita own pup. That's not a question, is it? How is there a champ dog on the ABKC that have more best of breed wins than some grand champions? Well, John Doe, that's very simple, my friend. Um, a dog is a grand champion because that dog is the best dog within that champion ring at the time of them showing. Is it the best dog, period, over, in any ring or in over the nation or in the world? No, right? Uh, that dog is a champion because it's the best dog in that ring at that time. 5 times, right? So that's the truth, man. When you compare that dog with an uppercoming dog or a dog that's already grand champion, what matters is if that dog is better suited to the standard than the dogs before them or the dogs after them, right? So it is easy to see why a dog that's a champion can have more best in breeds than a grand champion, because number one, they may not be the best grand champion in the ring, right? Number two, that champion might be a better grand champion, right? And above average grand champion. Like for me, I feel that there are below average grand champions, and above average grand champions. And I think that every single step of the way. I think that in class dogs, it's easier to kind of see who's better and who's worse. In champions, it's easier to see, or it's not as easy to see who's better, who's worse, because they're champions. And especially in a grand champion, it's hard to see who's better and who's worse, right? Because I feel like the grand champion class should be the most consistent class, which in retrospect is kind of why I feel like having a champion title dog go for best of breed is redundant, right? I feel like the best champion dog should go against the second best grand champion dog to see if that dog's better than the. Anyway, I was just thinking about that, but anyway, they're different, right? So it's easy to see why an up and coming champion that fucking might be like a champion Ohm, right? If you look at Ohm's a grand champion caliber dog that's handled by, sorry to say this, Paul, somebody who just doesn't know how to handle a dog, right? I'm not saying he won't ever know how to handle a dog. He's just not right now. But Ohm is a type of dog that could be the best #1 dog in the nation because of what he has. Not only is he bully, but he's also correct. Not only is he correct, but he's also balanced, right? And I believe Ohm could be, a national champion. I believe he could be a national grand champion, national winner, because he has everything. It's hard to find dogs who have everything, right? So that dog would beat grand champions, absolutely, right? Obviously he beat Vita last time we were out. Now, I will say that Vita was fat and overweight, but I'm not going to take it away from him. Right? So it's easy to see that, man. That's hope that made sense. Do you think Ohm could beat the bear? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, has it been proven? Fuck, I would say that it's hard to beat the bear. Well, the funny thing about that, and I want to say he would beat the bear. Bear he's just so traveled, man. It's hard to do it 1 year. It's hard to do it 2 years. I think this is his third year on top, right? Or second year on top, right? But you're right, man. Spoiled bullies. It's all about the judge's eyes. And David, yeah, it's fine, easy to find it, man. Just go look, right? Just go look up the hashtag bear season. You're gonna see bears getting shot and the American bully bear. The thing is about that, Abel, is that you have to. It depends on the judge, man. It does, and I can't sit here and say politics don't play a role in that. Politics absolutely do. If younger judges see an older judge put up bear, it is so easy for those judges to follow suit, even if they don't believe that dog's better. And I'm not saying that bears won from politics. What I'm saying is, you cannot deny that politics don't play a role. Will there be judges that say a champion should not be a grand champion, should not beat a grand champion? Absolutely. There are judges who think that if a grand champion is a grand champion is a grand champion, a champion is a champion. This champion should not be the grand champion simply because they're a grand champion, right? And that's the truth, man. I think that, like I said, guys, I think I stated this. I stated this a long time ago. I stated this long before Ohm got popular, right? That Ohm's gonna be something else. I said it before my show. I said Ohm's gonna fucking open some eyes at my show, right? I don't think a bully will. I think a bully will win this year. A bully wins every year, except for 1 year, right? Anyways, politics play a role, and will he smash him? Maybe sometimes. Will he beat him every time? Absolutely not. I don't think so. There's some badass dogs in the West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, man. Like I find it so funny when people talk about how so funny that fucking people from the Midwest think that they can come over here and win. Like I find it so ridiculous. I've heard it. I've heard this so many times that that uh if my dog was in the West Coast, it would own the ring, right? There's been so many people who said that, right? And I told every single Midwest person who's ever said that, bring your fucking dog over here and see what happens. And I honestly feel like it's because there's not as many like wannabe handlers here in California or the West Coast is why they say that, because we don't claim, like there's not many people who claim to actually be a handler, right? But we doesn't mean that we don't have badass dogs. I think there's a lot of people in the Midwest who say that I'm a pro handler, right? And then come over here and get their asses blasted because they don't have the better dog. Kevin, you look on the ABK's website. Yeah, Sergio, you're right, bro. They think that their bulls are bulls until they get here. Dude, California got some fucking bulls. Fuck, man, that corrupt shit, I'm telling you. Okay, if your dog has it and you have no job and can just show all year long, how long will it take to champ out? Spoiled bullies, it depends on your competition, man. It just depends on your competition. You could do it in one show, you could do it in 4 shows. Took me 2 shows to champ out Vita. Took us 2 more shows to grand champion Vita. You just don't know. It depends on your competition. Yeah, it does, man. It depends on your comp. But I honestly think that, I mean, with this last breeding, right? I put in like that corrupt stuff. There's corrupt in Stark. There's corrupt in Vita. I think that's where the fucking the chest comes from. You know what I mean? Oh, guys, the live is gonna end. I'm still on YouTube. What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm gonna end this real fast. I'm gonna start it over. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you're right. So Kim asked, when you compete at a show, how much is it to get in and compete? It has crossed my mind for fun, win or lose, something to put in my bucket list. Kim, I would say that you go out there and compete. Showing a dog is so fun. And I think it's so heart wrenching because of how competitive I am. I won't take anything less than a win. And the funny thing about competing and winning is that there's always that next level that you can get to, right? So if you're a class dog 1 to 2, you got to compete against the 2 to 3. If you beat them, you got to compete against a female in your class, standard, whatever it is. If you beat them, you got to go up the ladder, right? So I've always been the one to want to climb that ladder. I feel like anybody who's owned these dogs or loves these dogs or even breed these dogs or buys a dog needs to go in the ring to see what that feeling feels like. Because I can tell you right now, I've been showing dogs and breeding dogs for the last 6 years, and I still get nervous in the ring, and I still get butterflies. So it's a fun, definitely fun thing to do. Ghost. I would say that I wouldn't say that any coast has the best dogs. I would say that there is great examples of an American bully on every single side of the nation. I will say that the US of A has the best American bullies in the world. Not not fucking Netherlands, there's not the Europe, not Philippines. None of those countries can fuck with the American bullies here in America, for sure. They're nice. So there's some nice out there, but they can't mess with them here. Am I still not hitting nationals? No, I'm not. I'm not hitting nationals. Um, if it was a, I'm not even gonna say why that I'm not going to nationals, but I'm not. Okay, in Ohm Young career, have you been in the ring with Mufasa, Vita? In Ohm's young career, you've been in the ring with Mufasa, Vita, Kalitri, Papa Smurf, Jack Attack, and Lucy. What are you talking? Are you drinking? Are you drunk, bro? Oh, I've been. Okay. Yeah. How many best of breeds does Ohm have? We should do a coast to coast comp. East Coast, West Coast, and drumroll third coast. Who's the third coast? Like I've heard that before, but what's the third coast? Are you talking about like Alabama, the South, or am I going to register at the TBKC? I want to, Ray. I would love to show in the TBKC. I feel like if they were to be a little more prevalent in every state, that I would want to show in their ring. I think that the dogs that they put up aren't necessarily bully, but correct. I think that Quincy does. Is his name Quincy? Is his name Quincy? Terrell Quincy. I think that he definitely has a really good um, sight for what he wants it to be. But at the end of the day, it's like you got to compete with the ABKC, and the ABKC is the original Blue Registry, and not only is the ABKC moving forward, but they're very involved with their community, and it's hard to get people over. And I believe that for any new registry to actually be prevalent and relevant and important to people's lives, you got to get these people from from the ABKC to come over. These popular people, right? You got to get the bully markets. You got to get the fucking Kinos, the what's the other guy out there? You gotta get the Duval bullies out there, right? You gotta get these major bully people out there to go into to go into that kennel, right? Or that kennel registry. And Ray, he didn't drop off, man. Just because the person isn't as involved as he was before doesn't mean he dropped off. it really isn't about him anymore either. You know what I mean? I feel like you have this personal vendetta about Dave Wilson, and dude, it's not about Dave anymore, right? It's grown way past that, right? Quincy wants to make it about Quincy Terrell, and it's not about that. It shouldn't be about that. It's about the dogs, right? Who gives a fuck about if Dave Wilson dropped off? I don't give a fuck about if Dave Wilson dropped off. I give a fuck about my dogs. You know what I mean? Do you get where I'm coming from? I can care less if the person who is involved or made the registry is less involved now because I'm involved with my dogs. As long as the registry is around for my dog to register them in, I'm going to be around. Right? So that's what it is. Now, for me, it just comes down to comfortability. It just comes down to comfortability. I'm just not comfortable being in the UKC ring. So I'm not comfortable. BRC, I don't have any respect for the BRC. I don't. They modeled everything exactly after ABKC. I've seen nothing different. I've seen nothing that eye-opening. Like doesn't necessarily have to be different to be just as good. I wouldn't say no, right? But if I'm going to leave a registry that I'm with to show in another registry and to kind of claim that registry, I guess you can say, there's going to have to be something, a reason, something I see to get behind, right? For me, the BRC is basically the same thing as the ABKC, just with a different name. The BRCs, they're all over the place, man. But like, I'm just not one of those people who wants to be. No, it's not about me leaving or staying with the ABKC. I really don't even say I'm with the ABKC. I just register my dogs and I show underneath them, right? But at the same time, it's like there's just nothing different. It's the same thing. I don't give a fuck about my dog having a champion title in the BRC. Now, if my dog was champion in UKC, that would be different. That would be cool. But from what I've been seeing, having a best in breed or a champion title in UKC sometimes is even bad too because of the dogs they've been putting up, you know? Yeah, my name is on the ABKC page as a mentor, but I'm not really, I mean, I guess I am a mentor, but I'm not at the same time. Like I don't start my conversations with "What's up? I'm Marcus. I'm an ABKC mentor." Like it doesn't it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like I don't claim it. There's no quarter. They don't give me any quarter because I'm that. They don't even give me any recognition for being that. They don't do anything. You know what I mean? Like you don't. I'm nobody to them. If I left the ABKC, they wouldn't even fucking know that I left until I start bringing people over to wherever I left to, and that's when they notice. Because I'm not being cocky about this. I do have a high reach. I do get in a lot of people's ears. Where I go, a lot of people will follow. Not as in you guys, but as in Marcus is over there at the blah 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 registry. I'm gonna try it out, right? What my thing is, you guys don't even know this, but I'm gonna tell you now. I don't pander to the American Bully elite, right? I don't pander to the number one handlers or the number one studs. I don't pander to the Duval bullies or the Keno real, the Kenos, the Bears, the Mufasas, the Roccos, the Bistros, I don't pander to those type of people. They're just exceptional people, right? But I don't pander to them. Who I pander to and who I talk to and who I surround myself with are people who are new and open to listening and hearing and open to giving and receiving. Everybody in the world of this American bullies are typically either jaded by the American bully or ABKC or whatever it is, right? And either jaded or they're not, or they're so set in their ways they won't listen anyway, right? And that's really people I don't want to surround myself with, because I always want to listen. Nobody ever wants to admit that they're wrong, and I rarely admit that I'm wrong, but I will listen and change what I'm wrong about. But you'll never hear me say that as in what I'm wrong about, right? So Ray said, what happened to he dropped off. He was going to show how to use Demon Boy and that style of dog. Ray, man, like, I feel like, Ray, I think you're putting Dave Wilson up as an end all be all, right? Because he invented the breed or came up with the breed, came up with the registry. I feel like you're jaded because the person didn't do what they were supposed to do. The person didn't stand up for what they said they would stand up for, or do what they essentially said they would do. And I felt that way before about other people. And when he said that about Demon Boy, I felt that way, right? Because Demon Boy is out of standard, right? When he said a Demon Boy should, is what the American Bully should be, I was like, a high reared dog that doesn't drive? How the fuck is that what a bully is supposed to be, right? So that shit I can't change. So I decided to let that go. And that's what you should do too, man. If you don't like bullies, you don't like bullies. If you don't like Dave, you don't like Dave. Don't dislike Dave because he isn't breeding to what he originally thought the breed should be, you know? All right, David, have a good one, man. For real, Sergio, you're right, for sure, for sure. All right, so I wanted to talk. Is that not a sellout? See, I knew it. Okay, so Ray, is it not a sellout? I would say it is a sellout, but at the same time, can you wrong anybody for changing or in what their eyes is bettering themselves? God, I think I've sold out before. I think that I said that I would never breed to a dog like Rocco. That shit. I'm sorry. I lied. I have never sold out before, but that doesn't stop or negate the fact that selling out isn't a bad thing. If you want to better yourself, and you said you would never do something, and in the course of time has changed your mind, and you figure out that something is actually better of what you thought what it was before, then it's okay to sell out. God, I don't care if someone sells out to that thinks they better themselves, right? I'm not here to play the moral compass and who is morally correct. You know what I mean? I'm not here to play that. When I heard that Dave Wilson wants the American Bully to look like Demon Boy, I was like, what the fuck? But guess what, guys? It's not looking like Demon Boy. The American Bully would never look like Demon Boy. I think that although Demon Boy and Magoo and Dax is so widespread. I think that they have made a positive and negative impact on the American Bully, but I don't think that they've changed. I don't think that as a whole, the look of the dog has not changed, man. For me, the American Bully looks like Waffle House. The American Bully looks like Grand Chef and Waffle House and his sons. Like they're some badass dogs. You know what I mean? Like not crazy muzzle, but nice thick dogs, good bone, great movement. You know what I mean? Like that's what American Bully should be. I mean, just because Dave Wilson backed a dog that he owned does not mean that changes. Uh Demon Boy does carry Dax traits. So yeah, you're right, Sergio. The Sergio said the exotic class was booted, but the look was adopted by the rest of the standards. So you're exactly right. So the reason behind that is that they booted they booted. If you guys don't know, they booted the extreme class because this dog was always meant to be extreme, not classic, right? So the fact that they were giving way for a dog to have that much mass, but a slightly high rear, it was a good thing. It was a bad thing. You know what I mean? So that's why they took it away because this should have always been that or some kind of variation of it. You know what I mean? So the fact that like people say, oh, they took that class away, now I can't win. Like, no, man, you can't win because your dog isn't fucking structurally good to win. You might be extreme, but if your dog is fucked, your dog is fucked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Ray Vegas said, look, AKC don't have dogs with cooling pads, dragging dogs, putting them on wagons. You're right, Ray. And brother, please be the first one to screenshot and send it to me when you ever see me with a cooling pad or putting my dogs on wagons. So back to that again. To accept the things I can't change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All right? Straight up, man. So that foot don't fit on me. That shoe don't not that foot. That shoe doesn't fit, bro. So not to say that your argument's irrelevant, but it's simply misguided, my man. But I do appreciate you saying that. It gives me something to talk about. But you'll never catch me putting my dog in a wagon with the cooling pad. Hey, the Nuba in July, I would never go to again. And the only way I go to again is if that motherfucker is in the goddamn hall. Because it's hot. And it's hot right now in the Nuba. Never a wagon. Dude, hey, Sergio, I just gotta give my boy a shout out, okay? Sergio from Scorpion Kennels. Got some badass stud. That motherfucking Tecate is a beast, a beautiful beast. If you guys haven't checked out Sergio from Scorpion Kennels and his boy Tecate, you're missing out, man. He's a fucking beautiful dog with a great temperament, amazing temperament. He's an American bully through and through with the look and the attitude. Cheers, brother. Opinions on Mr. Squish? I don't know, sweetie. Y'all can't ask me hard questions. Like there are questions that I can say, and there are questions that affect other people and what I say. So I can't answer that because I honestly don't know. Bane's pet in history. Fuck. Bane is a production off of Krups Mano. What's up, Cadillac? So Bane's a production of Krups Mano. He's off of Krups Mano and Agave Blue. Agave Blue Bullies. He's an old school dog. You know, 20 still has a 25-inch head, even though he don't work out not a bit. He's just my best friend. You know what I mean? Like that's all we do is hang out. I literally go in the backyard, sit down, he jumps in the chair next to me. He's a champion though. I feel like the reason that we haven't done anything with him is simply because he's not right to do anything with. Yes, he champed out, but he wasn't the optimal dog, right? He's not the optimal dog. For sure, Beach Bullies, appreciate it, bro. He is. So crazy head piece, oh, good neck, you know, thick boy, but it kind of stops there. You know what I mean? How popular is corrupt blood out there? It's not popular. Like there's breeders who have it, it's fucking good, but nobody's like saying, "Oh, I want that." You know, I want corrupt blood now. And I think it's Hearn too. You know what I mean? Kind of how nobody really breeds to Remy line anymore because, and I feel like it's because of Cheech. What's his name? Is his name Cheech? What's his name? Chach? What's Remy Line's owner's name? You know, the motherfucker with tattoo like this? Fabian. His name is Fabian, yeah. Okay, so Fabian turned his back on Corrupt when he started going with, or no, sorry, Fabian turned his back on Remy when he started going with the exotics, right? Now he ain't taking pictures like this no more with the Remy line tattoo, right? And people aren't with it anymore, right? He was the first guy to actually put it out there and market one dog, one line, shit like that, right? It wasn't a line bred dog. Actually line bred Razor's Edge, right? So anyways, it's the same thing, I feel like, with Corrupt. Hearn went exotic. Hearn stopped pushing Corrupt. Corrupt didn't have any breedings lined up when in his last days. Actually, last like year, I think. You know what I mean? But am I saying Corrupt's a bad dog? Absolutely not. Vita has her chest from Corrupt, right? Extreme as fuck, man. And I honestly feel like that's where my dog Stark gets his eyes from, Corrupt. So all these have tools. All these dogs are tools, guys, in breeding the best next dog. You know what I mean? You know the BRC came up with a standard for exotic. That's why I don't show BRC. If I go in the BRC page and look at their standard and they're accepting everything under the sun, it's not a fucking standard. And that's the reason why I don't fuck with anybody who, not that I don't fuck with anybody who breeds, exotics, but I don't fuck with people who show not people, but registries who show exotics. That's how right now, because exotics will accept, and there is no standard when you say everything goes. Right? So if I tell you guys that my dogs they have big heads and small rears, right? but they fit the standard because the standard calls for anything under the sun. Are they really fucking standardized, or are they kind of more of, don't kind of just throw it in there? We want their money too, right? Fuck, that's it. It's just a money grab. That's all it is. There ain't no exotic gonna be winning the motherfucking show. That bullshit. Exotics too. Shit. I don't even know Kev Green. I don't even know if Kev Green's the one who put it on, who started it, who whatever it is. All I know is Kev Green. Kev Green, pushes it. I don't know. Is he the owner? Why did Kev Green leave the ABKC? I'm not saying. You have to ask Kev about that, man. Like, the conflicting stories I've heard from them and the conflicting stories I've heard from him, they don't match up. So I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't even know the dude like that. All I know is if I start a registry, I'm not going to take a fucking dog in it that can have anything under the sun. Let me ask you this, Bullet Bureau. When it comes to a standard of the rear end assembly on an exotic dog, what are they supposed to look like? Do you know? Did you read that? Ty Lung situation. Ty. So I chalk Ty up to this, right? I don't know Ty. I don't know anything about the guy. All I know is what I've seen, and all I see is a guy trying to live his best life and sell people on what he has. That's all. Whether it's good or bad, that's what he's trying to do. I have no quarrel with Ty. I think that he's trying to do what he's trying to do because he wants to live his best life. That's it. So I have no problem. Yeah. So we're like, I don't get how do you have a standard with an exotic when they accept. Okay, so I actually looked at the ABR standard, which is the original registry for the exotic. Okay, the ABR takes overbite, underbite, and scissor bite. Actually, no, they don't take scissor bite. It's overbite, underbite, or splayed bite, or wire bite. They take long tail, short tail, no tail, right? They don't take long coats. They take, it has to be short. You know what I mean? Like the original registry for the exotic bully. Go look it up. It's crazy. They take anything. When it's a standard, you have to try to fit these dogs into this box. And when they don't fit, that means they're out of standard, which means you have to go back to the drawing board. This isn't a throw it at the wall till it sticks kind of thing. Go back, go revamp what you're trying to do if it don't fit. Lovecraft says she likes Mandela. I don't like Mandela. But Ray Vega said, do all your dogs have cropped ears, and do you think shows like it better? Absolutely. I absolutely think judges like cropped ears better. And I absolutely do believe that cropped ears make a head shape look better. So anyways, so we're talking about exotic, right? The BBCR for me, like, guys, I don't know, man. I've never gotten into these other registries. So the reason I didn't get into BBCR is because the one guy who was doing the BBCR shows here in Cali, his name is Ryan, and he had just gotten into bullies probably 5 months before he got into the BBCR, right? And And like 5 months later, he was showing the ABKC, didn't really do it very well, kind of moseyed around, and then all of a sudden blows up, or he felt like he blew up, and was like the right hand man of what's the name for the BBCR, the Bully Breed Coalition Registry, and was like trying to talk it up like it was the next best thing. And it kind of just put a sour taste in my mouth, you know what I mean? And I was just kind of like, no, I'm good, dude. I'm good. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, I'm all right. But I think the most prevalent registries right now are the ABKC, the UKC. Actually, I'm sorry, not even UKC, the ABKC and BB and the BRC for the American Bully. Oh, wait a second. Keep an eye on Vita. Bet you she will pop at 3 years. I think she will too. I honestly think Vita will look 100% better at 3 or 4 years old. I honestly do. You like Castro better? I don't like Castro. Castro was a classic dog, and that tried to get passed off as a standard dog by gaining too much weight. I think he had a great rear end setup. I think he was more of an old school dog. I didn't like his color, um, but yeah, dude. You're right, Sergio. I honestly believe that she will pop at 3 years old because she's changed right now, and I don't think she's popped. Yeah, he is an older style. He's absolutely right. He fucking obsolete like a machine. How did he win a lot? He was going against worse, or not as good dogs, I guess. The Beast Boy is a beast. All right, Abel, you ready to come on, bro? Kind of feel weird bringing you on with my YouTube crowd here, not in it. If you get some free time, check out my male bear and let me know what you think of him. He's 11 months and 90 pounds, 16 and a half inches tall. Well, Lovecraft, before I believe you with his 90 pounds, I want you to put him on a scale and send me a video with him stepping on the scale. Because it's not often I see an 11-month-old 90-pound dog at 16 inches, male, 90 pound. I've never even seen a 16-inch, 90-pound dog. Period. Actually, I'm sorry, I have. I have seen a 90-pound, 16-inch dog, and that was Chumper. But he didn't hit 90 pounds till 3 years old. So yeah. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to believe that. For sure, Sergio. All right, guys. I'm going to end the live on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to continue the conversation, I'm gonna be on live here for another 30 minutes with the Instagram / the Bullco. The reason that I'm taking off YouTube is because I'm gonna bring somebody on my Instagram, and we split screen a lot of time. Once I bring somebody on, because I've been talking so much, I stop talking and I just listen. So I appreciate you guys. Ray Vega, thank you so much for coming on again. Ellison, Kim, thank you so much. I know you guys came on here to learn something. I hope you did learn something valuable and take something away. Again, we'll be back again next week at 9 p.m. every Friday night. You have just watched the Bullco Live. Take it easy, guys.